All right, welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Everybody Needs a Nudge. I think we're on like episode 12. Right, Root Beer? What are we on?
12.
Episode 12 with a week off in between. So we're trying to be a all-inclusive, equal opportunity podcast. So when somebody's your number one guest, you got to get them on the podcast. So I have my number one fan on the podcast today, my older sister, Daryce Morris. Say hello, Daryce.
Hello, everybody.
So Daryce has been the number one fan. She tends to make suggestions all the time on how we should improve. So we'll get to her. But before we get to that, we got to do a couple of segments here. We got to catch up.
I know.
Yeah, you know because
I know.
you're my number one fan.
Correct.
What a change from last week when we had Chris on and he's never listened to the podcast in his life.
Night and day.
I know. This is so exciting. Look at the excitement on Rufia's face. She's like, oh my God, I can't.
My cheeks are going to hurt at the end of it.
I can't even control myself.
I feel like I'm a fan.
You are a fan. Well, what you don't know is that you're like the emergency backup guest. So in hockey, in the NHL, they have a thing called an e-bug, emergency backup goalie. And every rink in the NHL has a guy. And if all the goalies go down on one team, whether it's the home team or the away team, that guy comes out of the stands and he gets dressed and he goes and plays. It's happened a couple times recently.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's what you are. You're the e-bug of...
Horrifying position.
Right? Well, not really. Just that you probably never get called on.
Oh my God, make money?
Yeah.
Oh, is she making money? No.
Is she making money?
Yeah, is she making money?
Not for this, she's not. As soon as she figures out how to monetize, everybody needs a nudge, then you can make some money.
Deal.
All right. So we had Chris on last week. He boldly said that there would be no corrections, and that is not true. So we'll get to corrections, but Annabelle had a hockey tournament this past weekend. They won it. No big deal.
Yay, Annabelle.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was expecting something like that out of you, Rupia, but apparently. Yeah.
Rah, rah.
Yeah, so she won her hockey tournament, so she's all excited. She's back at school. Hank and Rose are back at school, but they go to their academy, and the middle school wasn't ready, so they actually had a couple extra days off.
What do you mean wasn't ready?
They renovated the whole building.
Oh,
and it wasn't ready, so they had a couple extra days off. And during that time, Marlene took them to get their hair cut. Reasonable thing to do, right? Have you seen Hank's hair? Had you seen it lately?
No.
Had crazy, beautiful flow, like coming out of the side of his hat, and the lady cut it all off.
Oh. And it's literally a problem that boys have as they get older, too, because Connor will go and get a haircut.
Connor's her middle son.
She cut it all off. I only asked for a trim.
I know, but I'm like, I can't deal with that drama in my life with my boy. I don't need that drama. I got two girls that give me enough drama.
Oh, but they care.
Yeah.
They pretend they don't.
Hairgate.
But they care.
Hairgate, we're calling it at the house.
Yes.
He blamed everybody, but, then Marlene got upset and everybody's yelling at each other. Wasn't a good situation. But then his friend said he liked his hair, so he was back.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Little Johnny was like, and that's literally his name, Little Johnny. And he was like, I like your hair.
It's not bad.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bud.
It's okay. It'll grow.
Want to play Chell? That's NHL. They call it Chell now. Yeah. Want to play Chell? Yeah, I'll play Chell. Rose is doing her thing. Whatever it is that Rose does with her cheerleading and her ballet, and she's getting going. And so they go back to school. They're all at a field trip right now, and they go back to school. So I am back in the gym, and I'm on the elliptical, and I like the elliptical iFit. You can go on walks with people.
Who are you walking with, Danny?
So today,
who are you walking with,
no,
Danny?
This is incredible.
Immediate flashback to your bike ride.
Yeah.
I love that bike ride story.
So I figured this would be safer because I'm not interacting with actual people, right? Because that's where I get myself in trouble when I interact with people on a regular basis.
Yes.
But I've made a conscious decision, maybe to try and extradite myself from situations that I feel like we're going to get out of control. And I've done a better job at it in the last 5 years of my life. My friend Dan Sullivan and I talk about it all the time. But anyway, I'm on my walk this morning through the streets of New York, and it's like a educational walk.
Do they do aroma too? Maybe they could get the smell.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible.
Gross.
Imagine that. So the guy starts out on he's on the Brooklyn Bridge, and he's going into he's going into Brooklyn, and he's like, this is the Brooklyn Bridge, and he gives you the history of the Brooklyn Bridge. And as you get to the other side of Brooklyn Bridge, there's a neighborhood called Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Do you know what it stands for?
No, but you know why I knew through Dad's work through Wingate.
Oh, because he had
I don't know if he had property on there, but I do remember them talking about
Dumbo.
What does it stand for?
I forget
Look at
now.
your notes. Didn't write it down, Daniel.
Something under. Oh man, Dumbo. It's gonna be on the corrections for next week, or maybe you could Google it. That's your job, Dumbo. But it's something under the Manhattan overpass, Manhattan Bridge overpass.
D. What's
directly under?
These new nails make it really hard to type as well. So.
Why do you have new nails?
Because you harassed me into getting them.
You would sit
They
there.
look very good though.
She would sit there with her fingers in her armpits. Like what was that woman on?
Mary Catherine.
Sister Mary Catherine. Smell her armpits. Smell her hands. Can you get it? All right. So what I thought was super interesting.
Down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass.
You were so close.
Down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. So
close.
They named it that because they were trying to keep developers out. They didn't want it to be developed. So that's why they came up with the name. And then this guy, and this is a crazy like little nudges in your life, and I'm gonna screw it up because I listened to it this morning. But essentially, this guy, David Willantis. All right. He was like a small time real estate investor. He had a bunch of apartments in New York and he was always trying to raise capital. He had a company that his partner ended up dying and he bought the company out. But one of his rules, this is crazy. One of his rules when he was putting new people in their apartments was that if it was a young woman, he demanded that he interview them personally. Okay, listen, it's crazy. So you're like, ooh, gross. He meets his wife, right? So he meets his wife. She's a renter from him. She meets his wife. His wife works at Estee Lauder. His wife becomes very friendly with Ronald Lauder, the son of the founders of Estee Lauder.
Yeah.
Estee Lauder, the son, becomes an investor with this guy. They buy 2 million square feet of property in Dumbo, New York. It was all warehouses, all busted out warehouses. They had squatters. All the artists had left Soho and all the other, areas that were up and coming, and they went down to Dumbo. So he bought all this property for $6 a square foot. The guy is now worth like $1.5 billion, based just on the property he has in Dumbo.
That's amazing.
He bought it for $6 a square foot. It now
people have such insight.
It sells for $1,600 a square foot.
That's crazy.
The only, who funded him?
Crowd lending.
I was just about to say that.
That would be incredible.
Beat me to it.
But it wasn't crowd lending. It was the guy, Ronald Lauder, who he met through his wife. Who he only met because he was.
I see you're going to the
you
nudges.
see the nudges?
Yeah. Because if he didn't just interview women,
right,
the women, then he would have
never met his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Who happened to work with, I think his name was Ronald Lauder, the son. They invested $6 million with this guy, and he turned it into, it's probably more than 1 point. My buddy on his walk there, I forget his name, but my buddy on his walk told me that they're now selling for $1,600 a square foot. He bought it for $6.
That's crazy. Do you remember Grandma used to wear Estee Lauder perfume?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I remember
smell?
Estee Lauder being around the house, all like facial products.
Yep.
Like skin cream, wrinkle
cream.
Right
shortly after she died, I was in the grocery store and this woman walked by me and she just wafted the scents. And I was like, hello, Grandma. Thanks for saying hello.
Yeah,
overpowering.
I remember seeing it all over the house. All right, so some corrections. And so what's now happening in my life, Daryce, is because I'm such an egomaniac and I'm never wrong, and I tell people I'm never wrong all the time, when I am wrong, my phone blows up. So like people listen to the podcast and then I get like 47 text messages. You were wrong. Correction. So
that's what happens when you get popular, Dan.
I know.
And your words are recorded.
I know.
Because otherwise you could deny. Never said it.
Tens of listeners.
Tens of listeners.
They're all out there. Say hi. The A&W root beer shop that was down the Cape. I think I said it was in like Chatham. It's in Harwich.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
So the A&W.
That's why you're here.
The A&W, I believe, was then sold to Aunt Franny's
Yeah.
Paul Johnson, and
That's
he
right.
ran it as a Johnson's Drive-In.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Marshfield.
Uh-huh.
The one in Marshfield. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our Aunt Franny's boyfriend
Lifelong partner.
yeah.
Yeah.
owned
Johnson's
Drive-In, which was A&W.
A&W.
So it's
Full
connected.
circle.
I know, it's
Yes.
amazing. It's amazing. So maybe I think that so the woman that gave me the correction was Jess Metzler, and Jess
Ah.
Metzler owns White Marley. So
she could be another good sponsor. White Marley.
Yes, White Marley for all your white marleying needs.
Yes.
Call
Hats
Jess.
and T-shirts and
Yeah.
those fuzzy jackets come from White Marley.
Yeah, high quality stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great store.
Very, very nice family.
She's just a doll.
They live in Duxbury. You know her?
I know her.
How?
I'm not telling.
Two worlds colliding.
Not telling. That's a big secret.
There's no secrets on the podcast.
Yeah, there are a ton
I
of
know,
secrets.
so many secrets in this room.
So many
You
secrets.
have no idea how many secrets there are. Dave Winfield, remember we talked about he threw the ball and hit the bird? Do you remember, Rupia?
I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was 1983. I wanted to get the year for that. The football coach that Chris didn't want to play for down at Miami was not Eric Erickson. He was Dennis Erickson. So that's a correction. And then finally, the funerals that we were talking about, with the Viking guy goes out and shoot the arrow and
Oh, how Robbie wants to go?
yeah.
Yeah.
See? Oh, you know because you listen to the podcast.
I know because I listen to the podcast.
That's called a Norse funeral, Norse, and that was the North Germanic Vikings that used to do that. So Robbie, I know
That's
you're
how he
not
wants
going
to
to
go
listen, but we'll
He
send
might
you out.
listen since it's the two of us.
It's not listening.
Okay.
Okay. How long have you known him?
I'm-
How old are you?
100. But yes, I understand.
Okay.
Robbie, come on.
Listen to the podcast. All right. So and then now before we get into Daryce, I might need some parenting advice here.
Okay.
All right. I don't even know if you can help me, but so it's football season, right? And I get all these pools, right? You can, pick 5 teams and how many wins they get over the course of the NFL season, and survivor pool. You got to pick one winner a week, and then I do another pool where each team has a value, and you can spend up to $200, and so there's a whole bunch of different pools. You can make a whole bunch of different, some money. So I got Hank involved. He's 11.
So he's gambling? Is that what you're saying? Is that what your problem is?
Well, that's what
Okay, let it go.
is it gambling?
No, let it go.
Yeah, move
him
on.
have fun.
We're moving. Oh, let it go.
No,
he can do
play.
it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's silly.
Well, I hope so because I'm the one that got him involved.
Does anybody disagree with you?
No,
Oh.
I'm having an internal struggle that I've asked for some advice on.
Do you? No, that's silly. No,
It's fine, right?
It's fine.
Yeah. It's not his money
It's fine.
anyway.
It's not his money.
So all right. So
Just keep an eye on
all
him.
right. So how about this
If he's
one?
down
so
at the
he's
casino.
right at 13, smoking cigarettes out in the back. So
Drinking Johnny Walker
I'll
Black.
give you another one. So I'm driving him over his house. Another little parent advice. I'm driving him over his house to do a fantasy football draft. I'm sure your boyfriend does fantasy football.
No.
No,
No.
really.
Really.
I like him even more now.
I know.
Yeah. He's so handsome too and tall. We love you.
And now I need to meet him.
So he is so he's a state trooper. So like,
He's got it all going on.
flick the hair like state trooper. So we're driving over his friend's house and he's going over there to do a fantasy football draft, and it's a $10 buy-in. And I think you win. I think it was like 12 kids. You win half, and then they were going to donate the other half to some charity or something to teach them. The mother was doing she had a nice idea. So we're driving over there, and he says, I need $10. I said, well, what do you need $10 for? He says, well, it's $10 entry fee, and he breaks it down for me. I said, that's fine. I said, I'll give you the $10, but I get half the winning. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, well, fine. I'll give you $10. You got to give me $12 back. You got to charge you interest.
Mm-hmm. Pay the big.
Yeah. So that's how I'm rolling with my son.
That's the deal?
Yeah. He took the 10 for 2. He took 10
for 2.
Yeah. He wanted to pay the juice. He didn't want to risk.
Roll the dice.
Well, he could have possibly had to pay you. What's the final pot? How much could he have
60.
won?
He would have had to pay me 30.
30.
Yeah, but he would have, but it cost him nothing, right? Because I was going to give him the $10. I was gonna pay the buy-in
Oh,
for half. I was gonna buy 50% interest in his LLC that owned the.
Okay, so now he has to pay 12 out of his own pocket.
Correct.
Oh,
As opposed to being an equity partner with him in the deal, I was a lender, like crowd lending. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
watching.
yeah,
I'm
crowd lending
watching.
can pay for all this stuff. That's what we have to do. All right. That's my week in review and all our corrections. And so now we'll get into Daryce. Daryce, as I said, is my older sister. But how many years older than you? You're like 7 years older than me. 8 years
Yeah.
older than me. So,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like this with my brother. She was sort of 1 foot out the door when I came to be of an age where I would get to know somebody, right? So like first like 6 years of your life, you just kind of, banging around. And then at 7, you start to meet some people. And at that point, you were like 15.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You were just our little brother
I was just your little brother.
running amok.
Yeah. With no clothes on.
Well, you had your underwear on. You had something on. Diaper.
But so back up. So tell me, I didn't know you in middle school. How was we all know who lived there? It was me, you, Heather,
yeah.
Robbie.
We all know who lived there.
Yeah.
When thinking about this, because I think this is a really good exercise for people to kind of go back through.
It's cathartic.
It is
100%.
Well, it's just nice because you're like, oh my god, I totally forgot that. Anyway, junior high, I don't know.
Wonderful plug for the podcast there.
I have zero athletic ability. You know this.
Can't even throw a ball.
Cannot. So I don't know what I was doing. I asked mom all the time. I'm like, what was I doing all that time after school? Like what, you guys were all in sports and you were busy. She's like, I'm not really sure what you were doing.
Riding around in the car.
Yeah, I must have been riding around in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, I did do cheerleading. Mom started the cheerleading, like the local Pop Warner. It wasn't Pop Warner, but it was whatever that, grade school football was. And the cheerleading.
Mites, peewees, and midgets.
Yeah. The cheerleading stopped. Like the program stopped. Bina picked it up.
Yeah.
And got us all
I remember.
going.
I used to go.
You used to go. I used to.
Sliding down a waterfall, landing on a cactus. We play your team just for practice. Yeah. I know all the tricks.
Yeah.
All
Well, because you had to go. Yeah, you had to go.
Yeah.
You had to go. So I
Plus,
was.
there was a whole bunch of pretty girls there. I was like, I'll do the cheers.
They loved you.
Oh yeah. Of
Right
course they
in
did.
Sylvester Field.
Couldn't
right?
wait for me to get out of that car. Jumped out the window. Hi, ladies. Right? Hey, girls. How you doing? Yeah, I'll do the cheer. Sure. Oh, Rebecca's not here. I'll take her place.
It was fun. Then we got Heather involved because
Yeah.
Heather did the gymnastics part of it. Like she would do flips in front of
Yeah,
us.
she would back handspring down Main Street to get there.
Yeah,
Next to the car. There's Heather. Wing, wing, wing. Backhanding down this back handspring.
Exactly. So so junior high, they tried to put me in softball and they just kind of, left me either on the bench.
So
they just
sad.
kept sliding me down. Like,
I mean,
John, you just stay over there. Don't get involved.
does anybody not want to go out this inning? Me. That was Daryce. I don't have to play.
I don't have to play. I don't not a competitive bone in my body. I could care less about winning. Didn't bother me at all. I'm like, all right, I'll sit over here. I'm with all my friends anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm on the back porch playing games by myself, pissed that I lost to myself.
Yeah,
Literally.
I got nothing. I don't get you. I just don't understand. So then high school was I went to Notre Dame.
Well, let's talk about that because
right.
we sort of broke down how I ended up at Thayer Academy.
I was going to tell you if you gave me a minute.
Oh.
Give me a minute.
Hold on. Here they go again. I'm in charge of the podcast. It's my podcast.
Okay, let your guests speak though.
See ya.
Okay, let's do this.
Fix my shirt
Let's
here.
do this. So public high school was not happening in our house. Like it wasn't even an option. And Jonna, our older cousin, who was 6 years older than me, went to Notre Dame. And so Daryce will go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Heather will go to Notre Dame. And Marnie will go. And Shannon will go. Like all the way
All
down.
the cousins.
All the cousins.
On the
right
O'Connell side.
down. On between Franny and Mom.
Yeah.
So the school, I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to go.
So there was no choice.
No choice. I didn't want to go.
Did you apply anywhere else? Fompon?
Nope. I don't think I was allowed. Or maybe I did, and he never sent in the application. Who knows? Diane typed it in the office. I don't know.
Oh, Diane.
Diane. So when I was, I'm like, Dad's like, well, you're going to Notre Dame, and that's all there's to it. I'm like, okay. So what's it called? The test to get in.
Yeah.
I was sick as a dog, literally fell asleep. And I was like, oh, I'm so not getting it now. Like
During the test?
I fell asleep during the test.
Didn't finish half of it?
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
And they still accepted me.
Fine academic institution that it was.
I don't know what happened. I'm not really sure. Maybe I did, but I was feverish, like I was sick. So I went, and because that's
where you went. That's where you went.
That's where you went.
Yeah.
Like there was no choice. There was no option. There was no, you go into Notre Dame, and that's how it is. So,
Yeah.
So I went. It was fine. It was,
I just remember you had those stupid outfits you had to wear.
Uniforms?
Yeah.
Our uniforms?
Yeah.
Yeah. With pleats in the front and in the back.
Yeah.
Let's make our asses look even. Can we swear? Can
Yeah.
we swear?
Well, she beeps it out.
Oh, she beeps it
But
out.
I think you can say asses. I think asses has been cleared by the
okay.
FCC.
This-
Asses. Asses.
Beep, 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 beep. So, yeah, they were horrible uniforms.
Did you have a sports requirement, though?
Nope.
So there was no sports.
Obviously, Daniel.
Well, I
Look at
know,
me.
but you could have been like on the freshman, whatever team.
No, I was not on anything.
They didn't make you play sports.
I didn't do anything at that school. Nothing.
Amazing.
I didn't do politics. I didn't do theater. There was so many things. I did nothing.
Nothing. So, all right. So we talked about this a little bit. I felt like when I got to BC, I've used the term academically immature. It sounds like you were academically immature and didn't understand the opportunities that were in front of you when you were at NDA.
Correct. Well, I think, yes.
Okay.
But I think you're too young in high school to be thinking about how am I going to network and make this a bigger thing for me. You were just making friends and on the weekends. Like,
Not in high school, you weren't.
No, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
That was later on.
Jeez,
that was my
Louise.
second round of high school.
Yeah. That's when you went back to high school.
I went back.
When you turned 30. Incredible.
So I was, it was what, I graduated in 86. So 1982,
Yeah.
I'm in school. And that's when MTV came out, Friday night videos. Like that was my jam.
That was your jam.
That was my jam. Music was, and it wasn't, I couldn't play it. I couldn't sing. I couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
But I loved it.
So you were awesome at listening to music.
I was awesome. I was the best at it.
So what talent do you have? I'm a really good music
I'm
listener,
a really good music listener.
and I collect amazing collection of CDs.
To this day, I still can't tell you song titles or the artist, but I could sing the entire song for you.
So the new station, do you listen to 103.3?
Well, yes, because you told me to.
Yeah.
I do everything you tell me to do.
See, that's what I need right there. You wonder why I have the ego that I have. People tell me stuff. I'm like, okay, no, but I would. There are stretches on that channel. I enjoy it.
I don't enjoy it all the time, though.
No,
like it's
but
not good all the time.
there are stretches where I sit in my car and I listen, and I'm like, my sister could have sung from 1 p.m. to 3:30 and hit every word of every song, and it didn't matter the genre, whether it was Michael Jackson, Paul Simon, Steve Taylor, Jim Taylor,
Stevie Winwood, like all of those.
Yeah.
I loved them
I
all.
love
what was the Sade? It was
Sade, the forehead. Didn't you guys talk about that?
Did we talk about Sade?
You did.
No.
You talked about
That was the
forehead, five-head. Yes, you did. I think. Okay, let's go back to your podcast.
we might have to.
That's going to need a correction.
But that was the I better write that down.
Sade.
Was that the album that Mom had in the
Loved Sade.
listen to it
She loved
on repeat?
on repeat.
By Your
That and Phil
Side?
Collins.
Yeah, Phil Collins.
See, again, I don't know titles, but if you start singing it, I will sing it.
This is like
for you.
my favorite music.
Really?
Yeah.
You're an old soul.
I am.
You are an old soul.
I am.
I didn't even think.
I think me and Daryce have a lot in common.
I think so
we do.
too.
She's my new best friend.
Oh my god! I think Kristen Daly said the exact same thing on the podcast. I swear to God. All right, so MTV comes out, and I can remember, and it's a running joke. You would make like videos. You would make videos of songs with Heather and
Maybe.
Monty, and all the
Maybe.
would like be in the basement. They did a video of what was the
Mercedes
boy?
So
Do
it-
you want to ride in my Mercedes, boy? And my father had a
Right.
little green Mercedes, and they were like dancing on the hood of the thing.
It was
inc-
Easter Sunday, and we got bored.
So they went
Set
outside
up the tripod.
in like
A
in
tripod.
they had like leather leotards on. It was incredible. There's a video of it somewhere.
It disappeared.
We need
and
to
I
find it.
swear to God, I did not do anything with it because
No, you want that.
you want that
Yeah,
because it's
100%.
hysterical. The
Yeah.
dog is kind of weaving in between our feet, and it was we didn't plan it. It wasn't choreographed.
No.
I'm like, Heather, this is what we're gonna do. And Heather was like, okay.
So you know how you have these so you have these moments in your life where I have moments in my life that are frozen, right? Memories that I have, and that's one of them. But I also have the memory, and this might be was it high school when you were driving me to Chris Caldwell's house?
Yeah, of course it was high school. I had my license.
Yeah, and you rear-ended somebody,
Maybe.
and allegedly,
And
so
she didn't have her blank. He
getting a
didn't
little
have
fender
his
bender on the way
blinker
over
on.
there. I'm so pissed because now it delays me getting over there to play street hockey or whatever it was I'm going to do. And you were like, go stand behind that car and memorize what it looks like. Because it was like,
No phones,
Yeah.
no cameras, no nothing. Like we
Yeah.
had to.
I could draw it right now. It was like, what? I could draw it. The back was like
the
dented up.
68
Yeah.
Pontiac Firebird. It was so cool.
Two cool
Such a
cars.
cool car.
So you're at NDA,
So I'm at NDA.
listening
and
to music, driving around in a really cool car.
driving it around in a really cool car.
1968
Yep. I did like
white
that.
Firebird.
I had a red one.
You had the red one.
and then the white one. Robbie had the white one.
Robbie
to
had the
start-
white one.
Yeah.
Two Firebirds.
Two super cool cars.
Convertibles.
I thought it was going to get my boyfriend back, but it
Isn't
didn't.
that a song? My Boyfriend's Back?
No, I thought
You thought the car was going to
I
get your
thought my
boyfriend
car
back.
was going to get my boyfriend back. No, but he was dating a girl that looked just like Madonna, and I was like, I cannot compete. I'm sorry.
But I
I'm
do
out.
have a sick car.
Had a sick car. But regardless, so I did like at Notre Dame how I made friends with a whole bunch of people outside of my town.
Yeah.
So I had friends in, Situate and Norwell and Hingham, few up in Southie and Charlestown. So it was, you kind of ran with a different crowd.
Yeah.
And then when you went to a private school back then, you were gone from the kids in Hanover.
Gone.
Couldn't
Couldn't keep in touch with them.
You didn't keep in touch with them.
I
You
was
didn't-
lucky because I had hockey, so I was still playing,
Yeah, when you do nothing, you
Yeah.
don't have any connection.
when you're in the basement listening to Stevie Winwood.
Recreating Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Well, so I was able to keep in touch with just a few of them, just the hockey guys, really, just a couple,
Yeah.
Chip and Ted and those types of guys. But,
Yeah.
So now you wind your way through high school, listening to music and driving around in your cool car
Yep.
with no boyfriend.
Yep.
And now it's time to go to college.
So that was just another one of those, I'm finished with high school. I guess I go to college now.
Right.
I came home from school one day and Dad was like, so you applying to colleges? I was like, sure am. Sure am.
Sure, as soon as I finish this CD, I'm going to jump right onto that.
I said, what are some, business schools?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing at this. Like, he goes, BC, Babson, Bentley. And I stopped. I'm like, that sounds great. I applied to those schools.
Yeah.
I got waitlisted at BC, rejected at Babson, and got into Bentley. I'm like, whoop, here we go, Bentley. Guess I'm coming to you.
Great school.
Never saw the school.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Until they dropped me off. Never even visited, never went to orientation. It was just, I'm going to college, I guess. Like it wasn't.
I'm bringing my CDs and we're going to college.
Going to college. I got my 5 changer now.
Oh, remember the 5 changer?
Oh, I do.
I'm not messing up.
No.
We got to put it on random.
Yeah. You just
Test
listen
yourself.
to it. You're like, yeah.
Would take a good 30 seconds
Yeah.
before the next song.
Right? You're hoping it doesn't break. Like, don't break. Work. Yes. Then
Then
if-
flash forward, I got like 100 CD one. When
I had one of
moved
those
into my
too.
house.
It's like a big carousel?
Yes, a big carousel.
Oh, those things are the best.
Had like an album.
Yeah.
Put them in.
I have the same stupid stuff. Those are all coming back now. CDs are coming back. You can sell them for money and stuff. I'm telling you, the collector's items. That's how old you are.
Yeah, well.
You listened to as a kid is now a collector's item.
Yeah. Well, albums are huge. I don't know if CDs
They're
are.
coming back.
Albums are
Coming back.
They've already been coming back. Christian's been collecting the album. Christian's my oldest.
Nick collects
He's
albums
been
in
collecting
there.
albums for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collecting dust on those albums. That was such a genuine laugh. It was incredible. All right. So now you're at
All right,
Bentley.
so now I'm at Bentley, and it's my freshman year, and I am. So this is a funny story. So I'm put in.
Put a lot of pressure on yourself when you say this is a funny story and then you tell a story. You shouldn't do that. It's a storytelling 101. Don't say it's going to be funny. Just let it be funny. Now it's not going to be funny because I ruined it, but
Totally ruined it.
It better be a knockout story.
Knockout
I'm going to have
story.
to.
All right.
Root beer. Just watch how I salvage this story out of the fire
Yes.
with some timely jokes, okay?
Oh, I'll punch him. Is that possible to punch?
No.
I can't reach.
No punching in the podcast.
So
room.
I am a freshman. I am put in the international dorm at Bentley because my name is Daryce Nigerian, and basically no one knows how to even say it. They're like, well, she must be foreign. Put her in the international dorm.
So, a little story about Daryce's name. My brother, again, never going to listen to the podcast, is a
So mean.
very smart, dry-witted, genuinely mean person.
Very cutting.
Cutting. So he used to tell people that her name was Reese, but she was so dumb that she couldn't remember it, so she would go, Daryce? Is that unbelievable? It might be the greatest dig.
It is really good. I do. You have to give it to him. I'm
in
like,
all of
damn.
digs, that's incredible.
Damn, that was good. That was good, Rob.
Yeah.
One for you.
Yeah.
So I'm in the international dorm with two they're sophomores. I'm a freshman. Two sophomore girls from Puerto Rico, Francis and Francis.
Both names of Francis?
Francis Acevedo and Francis Davila.
Good job with the pronunciations.
Yes. So they are sophomores in a double. And then the Armenian walks through the door and is like, yeah, I'm here. And they're like, it's a double. I'm like, well, I guess it's a triple now. I'm not sure what to tell you. So they hated that I was there.
So how did
I
you,
was
there
not
was a
happy.
third bed in there?
They put a third bed. It was originally a single, made into a double, and then they made it into a triple. Those girls were not happy with
So
me.
they had bunks on one side and then another bed on the other.
Correct.
We-
And it
what-
was like long and thin.
Were you on the, what side?
I was on the top bunk.
You got
like
the top
shoved in the
bunk?
corner.
Oh,
And I had no clothes because Notre Dame had uniforms.
yeah.
So I had, because I didn't really care about clothes. I cared, but I didn't.
You didn't
So
have to care.
They'd be like, can we use your closet? And I'd be like, can you buy for me? Because they had fake IDs. Because
Allegedly.
they were way ahead of me in every way, shape, and form. Every way, in shape, and form. So I used to disappear out of that dorm because everyone, whether you're coming or going, there's kisses on the both sides of the cheeks. I'm like, oh my God, if I get touched one more time.
Oh, in the
I am
international
in
dorm.
the international dorm.
Oh,
No
yeah.
matter coming or going, they're kissing. Doesn't matter. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So every weekend, and then unfortunately, like month into my freshman year, one of my good friends from high school's mom passed away, and I called my mom, and I was like, I don't know what I do. What do I do? I don't even know what to say. She's like, you don't have to say anything. Just be there for her. Just physically be there for her. And I was like, okay. So she was up at St. Michael's. I was at St. Michael's every single weekend, basically my freshman year, because she was struggling.
Yeah.
I didn't like where I was.
Right.
She was, she had St. Michael's was a blast.
Yeah, it's a fun school.
It's a fun school. So that's where I spent a ton of my weekends. I would get ski passes up there. I spent Christmas break. I spent spring break. Up
All
there.
breaks.
All breaks.
Give me a break. I'm going to
up
St.
there.
Mike's
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I found my people.
at Bentley.
At Bentley. A few friends. And then, graduated. Meanwhile, the whole time. Oh, so I went as an accounting major.
That was a funny story, by the way. It's just,
And also very kind of you to do that for your friend.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Teresa's a very
yeah,
kind
yeah.
soul. She got all the niceness in the family. She got the niceness of 4 people. We don't have any niceness.
So, yeah, that was tough. That was tough with Annie, because again, I'm like, I how do you lose your mother?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
brutal.
Brutal. So
Did you graduate from Bentley?
Yeah.
You did?
So I went with an accounting major because again, I'm like, what should I major in? Well, my dad's an accountant. I guess I'll do it. Dad was like, math's your worst subject. Why would you ever? My economy teacher was like, you really don't get it. And I'm like, no, I don't. So I switched to marketing. So I graduated with a marketing degree from Bentley.
That's much more your speed.
Much more my speed. And once
the nudge that moved you from accounting to marketing was that you didn't get it.
Correct.
That's a solid nudge.
Yeah. There was I feel like my whole life was, I never really, as you can say, I don't have a bucket, even today, I don't have a bucket list. I don't have a grand plan of where I want to be and what I want to do. So I'm just kind of zigzagging my way through life, kind of a deal, you know?
And that's how it was.
And it has worked for me. It's worked.
You seem like more of a creative.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's working.
But I would say that I'm similar in that sense. I mean, I never had a plan, and I was able to pivot and move, and it wasn't like I'm gonna. I mean, I had ideas of what I wanted to be. Like I think we talked about that. Wanted to be, the lawyer that everybody calls. But then I was like, I don't want to do that. So let's go do something else.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of that. I don't have that rigidity that some other people have.
Well, some people have that. There's their grand plan, and this is what they're going to do, and they're at this age, and they haven't had children, or they haven't. I'm like, what? I'm just, going along.
Yeah.
Going along.
Yeah.
So, Dad, the whole time that I was at Bentley, I think you'd make a great teacher. And I was like, you're so dumb. You know nothing about me.
Tell me.
So I graduated from Bentley. And then at this time I had met Chris, my husband. So
where did you meet him?
I didn't meet him. I knew him.
You knew him from Hanover.
I knew him from Hanover. Yeah, he grew up around the corner from us.
Yeah.
So he's 2 years older than me, and we were at Copperfield's at a bar.
Yeah. You were
Boston.
Definitely 21, and he was definitely 23.
Yeah, because it was my senior year in college.
Okay,
Yes, I was definitely 21. And we were at the bar, and him and Terry Peacock walked in the door, and I was like, oh my God, I know them. They're from Hanover. So we're chatting it up, whatever. And then he leaves, and then I must have been home for a break, and I was out with like Paul Scott, Dennis Halloran, the
whole crew. That's like the Hanover crew.
Hanover crew.
Wherever you went in Hanover, you saw him drinking at the bar.
So we were at Squires, and I'm telling him, I'm like, so I was at Copperfield, and I bumped into Chris Morris, and I think I had a little crush on him, and they were like, we know him. I'm like, no, you don't. Okay, so talk about a nudge. They made us. We had to leave Squires because there's no phones.
Right.
There's no way to get, and we drove to his house.
Oh my goodness.
And Paul and Dennis got out, left me in the car to go knock, because that's how you got somebody. You either called them from your home,
right,
or you knocked on their door. So he was home, but he wouldn't come out with us.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm home.
I was like,
this is where I'm staying.
I was like,
forever.
I was like, game on, my friend.
Yeah.
So I think that was in like 89, like the end of 89, I bet, my senior year in college. And then by January, February, I think we were dating after,
so what year? This is like 1990?
This is 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember.
So I was at college.
So one of the lost arts is like, you remember, you girls probably don't remember, but, well, you're probably too young, but like calling someone's house to ask for a girl and have to like talk to the dad or the mom. Like, hi, is, Tammy home?
Yeah.
In your pants, you dial the number like 9 times, hang up. Get to the last number. The rotary phone. Right?
Speaking of rotary phones.
You hope that number was like 1221. So it's like,
nope, no such luck.
No.
So speaking of rotary phones, real quick, I was at my father-in-law's house, and he has got a red phone rotary. Right? And so it rings, and we were all over there. And so Karen, his sister, my sister-in-law, answered it. And it was a recording, and it was like, we're calling to confirm your appointment on, whatever, press 1. And Karen looks down at her phone. She's like, how am I supposed to press 1?
I can't believe
just say 1.
Yeah.
Just say 1.
Can't believe there's even a rotary phone still out there.
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
Did you ever have a rotary phone?
No.
Do you even know what it is?
Yes.
There's an incredible YouTube video where there's 2 kids. They're probably like 17 years old, and the guy puts a phone down in front of him and says, "I'll give you $1 million if you can figure out how to dial this number." And these two idiots can't figure it out to save their life, and it's hysterical to watch them go through the whole iteration of like.
They didn't even pick it up off the thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they got no dial tone. So they're like doing something. Yeah, I think I
Did
saw
you
that.
see it?
I think I saw that.
It's
something
so
similar.
funny.
It is funny. It is funny. So yeah, so that's my senior year. I meet Chris. I graduate, and then I go to Europe with Mary Beth McGee.
I never went to Europe.
Oh, so you know what I did in high school? I went to Europe. In high school, I went to France. I went to Italy, and then did you not know this?
No.
What were you doing, Danny? So anyway, I went to
You
France.
were like, I was like 7. I was,
They were school trips. I went to France and Italy, and then Michelle McGee, my friend Mary Beth's older sister, was working at the Parliament, and we went to England with me, Mary Beth, Ruth, Mom, my mother, and Mrs. McGee. Talk about a motley crew.
That's a
kind of
crew.
put together, and so we visited her, and we went to Scotland, and then Bina got bored, of course.
Yeah.
And we went to Malaga, Spain, because it was a resort area.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. But
So
I
that.
did
So for how
travel.
long? How long were you there?
I bet that was maybe a week.
Oh, you didn't
week
like go
and a half.
You didn't go to live abroad. You never went.
Oh no. But when Mary Beth and I traveled abroad, we were there for 6 weeks. I was supposed to be there for like 2 months, but I was in love, so I was like,
I wanna go home.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
And I would call Dad, and I'd be like, I want to come home, and Bina would be like, you're staying there. You're staying home. I can't.
Yeah,
see
we
her,
should have stayed for
there's
8
no
weeks.
reason.
I'm telling my kids to go abroad
There's no well,
in college.
it's abroad to
study.
Study, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different. I don't know if I'd ever send my kid over. We backpacked. We had no phones. We had no nothing.
No, that's
like,
crazy.
We were on.
That's crazy.
We were
Tom.
on trains with gypsy. Like it was. I was like, God, how are we still alive?
Yeah.
It was just 2 girls
With a
And it was-
backpack.
with a backpack, staying at youth hostels. Like anything could have happened.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened. Nothing ever did.
Well, that's good.
So, and I could only call Chris, either early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
And it was expensive to call, so I didn't. And then, he doesn't talk much anyway.
Right.
And then to get
That
him
must
on
have
the
been like
phone,
a riveting
to
conversation.
get him on the
Hi.
phone too early or too late, I'd be like, oh, he's not even talking to me.
Why are you talking? Remember those conversations?
Yeah.
You hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up first. I'll wait
Let
for
me
you to hang up.
Let me put on my Walkman, listen to Tears for Fears some more.
Your yellow Walkman snapped in. Tears for Fears. So when you come back from Europe,
I come back from Europe.
do you get a job?
Yeah, well, yes. So I come back and I joined the workforce, and I worked at 9 West and Cambridge Galleria. I worked at a bank. I worked at an office leasing
So
company in
retail
Boston.
stuff, and then
No, well, I was doing, I don't know, whatever job I could find. I didn't,
Yeah.
again,
no career.
no career. So then, I go back with my tail between my legs. I'm like, I think I want to go back to school, Dad. Okay, let's do it.
So the nudge to go
So-
back to school was the real world.
The real world, and that I was like, I need something
A career.
more fulfilling than
Selling
what I
shoes
was
at
doing,
9 West.
selling shoes at 9 West.
Yeah.
And working holidays, like that's
Yeah.
just torture. So I went, I applied to BC and got in. I was like, yeah, didn't accept me the first time, but whatever.
I'm back.
So I worked full time and went to school at nights, and then graduated in 1994 from grad school. So I have my master's in education.
So was there a time? No, because I graduated high school. I was gonna say, was there a time we were at BC together? But no.
No. Oh no.
Close though.
No.
You act like it's completely unrealistic. No. I mean, it was like right around. You graduated in '94. I went there in the fall of '94.
We wouldn't have seen each other. Like we're
It's irrelevant, Reese.
okay, Daniel.
It was close.
So I did my student teaching in Norwell, and I loved it. I taught 4th grade with this older teacher, and she was great. I remember thinking, like it was my first. She gave the class to me. She's like, "Here you go. You're going to teach this curriculum," and I sat down with her afterwards. I'm like, I don't like all of them. And she was like, that's totally normal. Because I'm like, I'm a horrible human being.
How
but
can I not like this little kid?
He's 10.
Yeah.
How come I don't like him?
Yeah.
She's like,
Because he's a
totally
jerk.
normal. Yeah. Yeah. And then it was another lesson that I learned from the special ed teacher, because we had 2 kids with Down syndrome in the class. And if they acted up or anything, she would just kind of keep them in line. And I remember like, Julianne, what is that? She's like, he has autism. Doesn't mean he can be an ass. And
Right.
I was like, another great lesson.
Yeah, great lesson.
Great lesson.
So who was
and
this
it was
woman?
For those Julianne. Oh my God, I'm totally forgetting her name.
That's a nudge in your life lessons, and you can't even remember the name.
Yeah. It was great because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Just because she's like, he's fully aware. He's being an ass.
Yeah.
So I then I left Norwell and got a job, a long-term sub 6th grade over in Abington. Talk about a different public school. Norwell, the parents were, right there. Abington, I was like going to find these parents.
Right.
I actually had a student that it was a horrible situation that he was living in, just horrible. And he was always acting up. I think he was maybe stayed back twice.
Oh.
Yeah, he just was, and I was a sweetheart. But anyway, I used to give him your leftover clothes. I used to bring in all your clothes to him. And
Kid was styling.
he was styling.
Walking around like Jabots
Yeah.
and champion sweatshirts and Gazelle sneakers. And I was
Yeah.
like, where you getting your gob?
Yeah. He was.
Everybody needs a nudge. Even back then.
Yes. Yeah.
Even back then, I was nudging kids. I didn't even know it.
Yes. Yeah.
That kid's now the president of the Abington Society for Fashion.
No, he is not. Unfortunately, he is dead because.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That just took a turn for the worst.
Sour.
Wow. What just happened? We were like up here.
I
and
know, because it broke my heart. He ended up went to high school and then he stole a car and like drove it into a tree or something.
Oh.
It was horrible, like just a horrible. But anyway, I got pregnant.
Did you get my clothes back?
I got.
Yikes. Couldn't help myself.
50%. That was good.
That was good.
So, where was I? Oh, so I got pregnant.
So you get married along the way.
Oh, I got married. Yeah. Chris and I got married, and we built a house down
In Kingston.
In Kingston in 1995.
Which,
yeah.
looking back, I now live in Duxbury. When you said you were moving to Kingston, it might as well have been
Pakistan.
south of the equator.
Correct.
I was like, whoa, what is down there?
Yeah. Why are you going there?
Why are you going there?
It was so fun. It was like so it was a brand new neighborhood, and so people were just building houses, and we were all in the same boat. Maybe one family had kids, or just had a baby. The rest of us were newly married, just built a house. It was like college without classes. It was so fun. But there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that house.
Yeah.
We got in by the skin of our teeth. And then we did all the painting and, siding and built bars and whatever. Like it was a lot of work. I loved that house.
It was a great house.
I loved that house.
Yeah.
I loved that
So you
house.
sold it.
Until I sold it. We made a good chunk of change on that house.
That was a good hit.
Yeah, that was a really good hit. That was Dad. That was totally Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you can't afford Hanover. South you go, my friend.
Yeah. It was a smart move, but that was Indian Pond, so it was a sort of a town unto itself now. It's amazing what that guy's done down there.
It's huge.
Huge.
So yeah, we got married. 1995, we built the house. We moved in. 1995, all your friends are getting married and doing the thing, and got projects every weekend. And and then in 1997, I got pregnant, and I was working in Abington at the time. Teaching jobs were hard to come by, very hard to come by during this time. Like I went into school at the worst possible time. So I was constantly interviewing, trying to get a job. And then this long-term sub turned into, it was a sub, and then it turned long-term sub. And then I thought I was a shoo-in because I was good friends with the teacher that became the principal. I'm like,
oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So in July, I had Christian, and 2 weeks later, I get the call that I did not get the job. And I was like,
Oh.
what the hell? So I was crushed because I loved teaching.
Yeah.
I love teaching, but I think that was the nudge I needed because I don't think I could have handled teaching and having kids.
Yeah.
I don't think I could. Those 25 kids or whatever, I took them home every night with me. I thought about them. How can I make it better for them? What can I do for them? Did I say the wrong thing? Like,
Yeah.
they were always in my mind. I'm like, I don't know if I can. Is there enough room for them in a family?
Right.
So I as everything happens for a reason, I never got the job. I applied for more jobs and I didn't get those.
Yeah.
And then I remember sitting down with mom and dad because not only did I love teaching, but we needed that paycheck.
Yeah.
We had just bought this house. I was like, oh,
Yeah. You needed
God,
the money.
we needed this money. So, Chris was working. He was at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Where he's been for 711 years.
711 years. And he cleaned.
Blue Cross Blue Chris now.
Yeah. Seriously.
Changed the name. Chris Cross. Get it?
Yeah, that's
Remember
good.
that song? Remember those guys? Criss Cross?
Will make you
Jump. Daddy Mac will make you. They wore their clothes backwards.
I wanted to be that for Halloween this year, actually.
Did you really?
Just did it
So I'll
the
tell you a
other
quick
night, yeah.
funny,
That's a good one.
I'll tell you
That's a good costume.
funny crisscross story. So it's the 9th grade at their academy, and there's a talent show. So me and Dave DeVinagrassi are going to do that song. So we get all dressed up, clothes on backwards, the whole 9 yards. We come out, we start out, and the system goes down. The whole system, they can't play the music. So now we're trying to figure it out. Some kid yells from the I'm a freshman, like 2 months in. Some kid yells from the stands, tell some jokes. And I said, I'm a rapper, not a comedian. The place erupted. I'm a rapper, not a comedian.
Was that song clean?
Yeah,
enough to
there was a
play
clean
it?
version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they played it
All
on the
right.
radio.
Yeah. Oh, that's
The Mac
right.
Dad will
That's
make
right.
ya
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah. Crisscross will make you
Jump.
Dad and Mac will make you.
Jump.
Let's do this.
That was a great song. They were like,
taking it on the road.
I think they're dead, by the way, to bring it back down.
Oh my God. Remember being you
One of
guys,
them is
were
definitely
you old
dead.
enough at clubs to be at that song? The whole
The floor,
place,
yeah.
the whole place would just bounce with that song.
Yeah, no,
So
the
fun.
other song, the song that did that at the clubs for us was the Jump Around, the House of Pain.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jump around.
Jump around.
Jump up, get down.
Yeah, that song. I hate that song.
I don't really like it either.
No, House of Pain stinks. They're like that. What's the band from around here that gets all the pub? They have Shipping Up to Boston.
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
Dropkick
Dropkick
Murphys.
Murphys.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
drop
were
kick
just
them right out of the bar. They
Yeah.
stink.
they were just chirping on something I
He's
heard.
actually a very good guy. I forget his name, Casey. And I don't dislike the band. I actually like the band.
That's a fun song.
Yeah, it is.
That's a fun song when you're in the right
And he does a
environment to sing that song.
Yeah, and he does a ton for charity. I forget, what's his guy's name? Casey. But he's a local
know.
guy, and he's done a bunch for charity. So
That's great.
yeah.
Okay, that's back to me.
Oh. Once again, I have no control over my own podcast. Okay, Daryce, continue because it's riveting. Go ahead.
I don't remember where I left off. Did I have babies? Oh,
Yeah.
I sit
You're
down. with-
unemployed.
I'm unemployed.
You have a house you can't afford,
Correct.
and you're going to mom and dad for money. That's
And
where you
I
left
have-
off.
I have the baby,
Right.
and Pina and Boom Boom were basically like it was like the scene out of Moonstruck when the mother smacks Sharon's like snap out of it. They were like, all right, already enough.
Yeah.
You can get. So Dad got me a job at Wingate.
Yeah.
So I worked part-time at Wingate.
Wingate was the company that my father worked
Yeah.
at for 1,000 years.
Yeah, I got the job. I don't even. I just walked around and
Yeah. Move papers from one desk to another.
seriously, they were like, just give her something to do.
Yeah. Get the coffee.
I know you already did it, but have her do it again.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So
Well, it's more like have her do it, and then you can redo it.
Redo it.
Because it's going to be all wrong. And you can't say anything because she's the boss's daughter. Okay? So just do it.
It is the worst. It's the
worst.
worst.
Sucks.
Nobody wants to be friends with you. Nobody wants to talk to you. Like
Yeah, you
you're
walk
just-
in the
you just
room, the
think that
record stops.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because they think that you're going to report back. I'm like, no, it's all good. But
And oh, by the way, my father doesn't care what you're doing back here
no, he
in the
does
break
not.
room.
He does
okay,
not
doesn't care. Not interested. And still give me some anyway.
Oh, so and then I had my Bina would babysit and my in-laws would babysit, so it was great because it was only part-time. And then I got pregnant 6 months after that, had Connor, and that was in 1999. He
Quick,
was born.
you had him quick.
Yeah, I had the first two quick,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, I was in a fog, complete fog, and then 3 years later had Manning, almost to the within the week of Connor. So it was just we just plugged
They have
along.
great hair, by the way.
They do have beautiful hair, and it's
Yeah.
all different. All of them have.
They played
different
men's
hair.
league with me this summer. Manning's how old's Manning? 20.
Mm-hmm.
To their credit, they didn't stay and drink beer. I meant to tell you that they weren't they were driving, right? So they were super responsible.
They're so good. These kids are so good.
But
Not just mine, but just kids. These kids are so much smarter. That's
Yeah.
what we did.
No, he didn't. Edit that out. But he would leave the rink with no shirt on.
That's the one.
Yeah, her
That's
youngest.
the one.
Yeah, he's a legend. That kid.
Manning.
He is instant men's league legend. The status that it took me 17 years to get to, he got there in like 8 seconds because he walked out of the place with no shirt on. We were like, yeah.
He's another one of man of few words. Like
Yeah,
he
he
does
doesn't-
not. He does not say much.
Doesn't say
He's like my
anything.
husband.
Doesn't need him.
Yeah.
No, he really doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say much.
Yeah, he says like 3 things. Like if he's like, that kid's pretty good. Like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we know the other two are more. They're more
Vocal.
gregarious. They're more like Christian's. Definitely more like me.
Yeah.
That's why my Christian's oldest. He doesn't play any sports.
Yeah.
He tried. He tried everything. He was that kid that we were in places and doing things that we would have never done if it wasn't for him. Because he was like, I'm going to play piano. We're like, okay, piano lessons. It's like, I'm going to do hip hop. I'm like, okay, here we go, hip hop. I'm going to play soccer. I'm going to ride horses. And then he was always a worker. Like he some of your guests talked about how they always worked. Christian always worked because he likes things.
Yeah.
Christian likes his stuff.
Yeah.
So he would work at the barn in order to get lessons. Because I was like, that's a lifestyle, Christian.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can afford that. That's a lifestyle. You got an extra $100,000 floating around.
Yeah, go dump it on the horses.
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the other two were like, they were just sports guys.
Yeah, hockey.
And lacrosse.
Yeah.
So,
So how long? So you finally got to leave Wingate. So how do you? So
So listen. So
I'm listening.
Listen.
I've been listening the whole time.
Listen. So
47 years of listening.
So it was in, it must have been 2001, right? September 11th, they were parking, September 11th, 2001, they were parking the land
In Hanover.
in Hanover to see if we could build on it.
So another
Not
little
us.
real estate. Do you know what perking means, A&W?
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to explain it, Daryce, or would you like me to explain it?
They were looking for water levels.
Correct. To see if they could put a septic system in there to see if you could build on that land.
Yeah.
To determine whether or not the lot
That
next to my
dad-
parents' house was
Right.
buildable.
Right. So which dad had purchased.
Correct.
He went in because it went up for auction. He grabbed it.
Tax auction.
Yeah. He grabbed it, and then I guess I was the only one that wanted to live next door to my parents. So
Mhm.
I'm the favorite.
No. It's not true.
It is true. So anyway,
That's
we built
okay.
a house, another house. I should have just built the same house. I don't know why I didn't. I just
Somebody you lost control over
Lost
there is what
control.
happened.
Dad
Yeah.
was like, just bump it out this way and this way. It's nickels. Nickels, he would
Yeah.
say to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's like an Italianate, completely different style from the house in Kingston.
Completely different style. It was modeled after a funeral home in like Newton or Wellesley or something.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Goes back to why do you call it a funeral home? Remember we talked about that?
Oh, not a
Wake.
wake home.
Yeah. Sorry.
50%, Dan. 50%.
50%.
50%.
I'm firing it a little higher than that today. I'm actually having a good day.
You are. I'll give it to you. So we built that house in 2002. Meanwhile, Grandma was right at 2001. Heather got married.
Yep.
Right after that, she was put in the nursing home down at another Wingate, another one of my dad's properties down in it was down in Kingston. So
His company's properties.
His company's
To
properties.
be clear.
Yes. So he
I wouldn't be sitting here working if he actually owned all the properties.
correct. This is correct.
I'd be in like Madagascar spending his money. Hand over fist.
Over and over again. Yeah.
I'm on my way back, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
You've been saying that for 13 years, son.
Mm-hmm. So they had they had just bought the property. So it had a nursing home and then assisted living and then
Memory care.
Elderly. Well, she was in memory care. She was up in the nursing home. But then they had 4 buildings, elderly housing. And Dad was like, all right, well, go be a site manager down there.
Yeah,
so
it was perfect.
It was perfect. So Boompa moved in down there.
My grandfather, our grandfather.
Yes. So they...
This is unbelievable.
Are we going too long?
We are podcasting. And Chris is standing outside the window asking Amy, Root Beer, if she's talking.
I'm talking.
Yeah, she's talking.
She's definitely
Don't get her
talking.
to talk much. I'm just glad we got her a microphone.
This place is crazy.
So the first one,
know.
I'm like, hey, she needs a microphone. I need to talk to her. I need to hear her. So anyway, so boom, boom. So my grandparents were both down there. One's in the memory care and one's in one of the apartments. I'm the site manager. I'm still only part-time. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect because I got to see them and it was
awesome.
It was perfect. So I stayed there.
And my father was comfortable because now you were there to keep an eye on his parents.
Yeah.
It was match made in heaven.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. So I don't know if I would have gotten that job. I don't know if they would have been.
The answer is
Wingate
no.
would have been so quick. No. If I hadn't, no, I don't think Wingate would have been so quick to put me in as a site manager if I had somewhat of a presence up at the office in Newton or wherever the hell it was at the time.
Newton.
Yeah.
Needham.
Yeah. That's right. Charles Kendrick or whatever it is.
Move on. No one cares what the address was of Dad's company.
Okay.
It's irrelevant to the story.
Edit that out.
Continue, because I'm starting to get sleepy over here. So fast forward to like the fun part.
There is no fun part. I had babies and that's it.
Yeah, but then okay, fine. So
okay.
you but eventually you do the Wingate thing, and obviously as life goes on, both Boomper and Grandma pass. And
correct.
But now you've got a business going on right now.
Yeah. So that started completely by, I think by mistake. It was one of those people would say to me. So we moved into my house in Kingston. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a pot to piss in. So I never said no to free furniture. I was like, yep, I'll take it. And so I realized, I'm like, oh, I've got some sort of a talent that I can put it together. Not, again, it was, I just repurposed or getting it on the cheap and then people started saying to me, people will pay you for this. They will pay you for this service. I'm like, no, everybody can do it. Everybody can do this. This is, you have imposter syndrome. I never went to school for this.
Right.
How can I charge
What'd you call it?
For that? Imposter syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that is when
something I don't know about.
Yes, you have no problem with this. So this is this is being on a job or doing something that you're like, I'm just waiting for someone to figure out that I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I would actually,
it happens.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't, my mother she's got a great eye. Granted, it's one particular style, but she has a great eye.
Yeah.
Our rooms were impeccable when we were growing up. We were everything. She used to have tours. Do you remember this?
No.
She would have like the garden club or something. They would come through and tour.
No.
She would
I was busy being awesome.
And then, or her parties. Do you remember her parties? Her Christmas parties?
No.
What?
Was I there?
On Sunday nights? Her Christmas parties?
No.
Holy cow.
Was I there?
Of course you were.
I was probably like dressed up as an elf, like part of the...
Doing your chairs.
Yeah. You know what?
Sliding down a waterfall.
No, you probably got shipped off to Chris's house or something.
Yeah.
I used to make bows for days.
I can remember the bows
She
around the house.
decorated that house top to bottom, but it wasn't with like regular. It was lights, greenery and bows. That's it.
That's it.
My
And it was
mom-
no
it was
tchotchke
white
stuff.
lights.
Everything was
White
white.
lights,
Everything.
yeah.
She was way ahead of the game on that.
Yeah.
So she has a great eye. My Aunt Franny so that's my mom's sister. She was,
She had interior
she
design.
had interior decorator, and so we had wallpaper and
Yeah,
windows
New England interior.
galore.
Yeah.
New England interiors, because her husband was a painter at the time, and then, so she rolled into it as well, because people would come in and she was working in the office, and it's like, "Can you help me choose a color?" And she's like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And so she learned on her own. Then I learned a great deal from her, because I would get all my window treatments through her.
Yeah. So Aunt
so
Franny
she
was the big nudge.
Aunt Franny was a big nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Because she took me right under her wing, and helped me see that this is a possibility. Like
There's a career here. There's
a career. She made a career.
Yeah.
She did very well.
She did super well.
She did very well, and then she invested in. She did very well.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, super smart. So it wasn't until I moved to Hanover that.
To Water Street or to
No, to Mayflower. That second house that we built,
Yeah.
that I was like, all right, I'm going to give this decorating thing a go. And I I started it, and I think this would be a great idea for HGTV. So call me. It's called
if you're listening, HDTV.
HGTV. Don't call me. Design, and don't steal it either. I did design with wine. So at the time, I was invited to all these parties, like, oh my God, like the marketing parties. Like
Buy the Tupperware, buy the this, buy the that,
Yeah,
Rodan and Fields and
correct,
all that
correct.
crap.
And I loved going, because you'd go there and drink and hang out with your friends and
Make fun of all the houses.
Yeah, no, I didn't make fun. No,
Yes, you did.
no, I didn't.
You did.
I didn't. All right, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it.
Did. I win.
You so win. So I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great? Because I hated that I was pressured to buy anything. I never did, because I was like, I don't really need any of this stuff, but I'm coming.
Yeah.
But I was like, wouldn't it be great if you had Oh
my God. Spit it out.
sorry, Danny. I'm just a little nervous. I would the premise of the party is I would come to the person's house beforehand, and I would completely decorate a room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would dismantle it, and then she would have friends over, and I would put the room back together. But it was quick, because I just had to put it back together. We didn't have to think about anything. So the guests would see the room before,
Yeah.
and then
Drink a bunch of wine, go in the other room.
wine, come back and see the room after. And it was
Same
like
furniture.
same furniture. We would make it ugly,
Yeah.
or whatever it was in the beginning. And I was like, this is gonna take off.
No.
Sounds like fun though.
No, it was
Yeah.
fun.
Sounds like
It
a
was
good
fun.
I would like to go into another room, drink some wine, come back in, and be like,
Oh, that's magic.
What
This is magical. Because
whoa.
my whole,
Amazing.
Wow.
and of course, because I don't have, I didn't have credentials. And I was like, well, actions speak louder than words. If people can see what I am capable of doing,
Yeah.
then
Business will take off.
Business will take off. And I can't. I guess it did not do well at all. But it was the I guess the boost. Maybe I just needed as a confident.
It was the
somebody.
nudge.
It was the nudge. Maybe someone would be like, you do a great job. This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
And then it's I've never advertised outside of like giving my services for a raffle item or anything like that, just
Right.
for name recognition. Like,
Yeah.
let's get it out there. And it's all of my businesses. This person's friend who has a friend, sister's cousin,
Yeah,
uncle,
word of
and then
mouth.
repeat customers.
Yeah.
I tried the advertising thing, and it just, I'm like, this is just a waste of money.
Yeah. It's hard.
just a waste of money, because there's no direct line.
Yeah.
So it has done me well over the years. I've done.
How long have you had? What's it called, first of all?
Interiors by Daryce.
Oh, it's so original.
So original.
Let me say what I'm going to work and then put my name on it.
All over it. Then I drive around with a car with my license plate.
That says Daryce.
Daryce.
Yeah,
Oh,
big
I love that.
big vanity plate fans over
We
here.
are.
Yeah.
But I used to get when I was
Yeah, I still get.
no, because people would be like, "Did your dad not think you'd be able to find your car?" I Has anybody seen my car?
It has my name on it. That's amazing. So do you have is there a website? How to?
Yeah, Interiors by Daryce. I'm more on the website's fine. It's
nobody uses websites anymore.
Nobody uses websites anymore. It's
Are you
more,
TikToking, Instagramming?
No,
what are you doing?
No, I'm on.
Be Realing?
No, I'm not doing any of
Snapchat?
that. No,
Snapface?
no.
Facebook. Book time.
Just Facebook. Facebook because that's boompa, boom boom.
Yeah, whatever. What are you doing?
Facebook is where my clients are.
Really?
Yeah, because they have money.
So
they're older.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That
Like
was
I don't need young kids. I don't need. They don't have the money. No, and let me preface this.
But you should start getting a presence on TikTok because those people are going to come up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. My thing, my shtick, I guess, is that you don't have to spend a fortune to have a beautiful home, and because I watched Mom do it, she did not spend a fortune. Like
you don't have to spend a fortune to look like a fortune.
No.
Interiors by Daryce.
Tagline.
Oh, Dan.
It's nailed it.
My tagline is actually transforming your space.
Ooh.
Interiors by Daryce, transforming your space.
Oh, it has like a nice little jingle to it.
Yeah. Daryce space.
Also, I think a lot of the younger generation, they do a lot of DIY.
Yes.
Now
That's
a lot of what you see on TikTok is people like redoing it themselves and.
Yeah, and
right,
it's
so
hard. DIY is hard.
Yeah,
right?
It's hard. They make it look so easy. I can't stand all those shows except HGTV.
I won't watch them.
They drive me crazy.
Especially like the fix and flip shows because I did that for years.
I'm like, this is all a lie.
It's all a lie.
You're lying to these people.
And
it's
my profit was $80,000. I'm like, that doesn't happen.
No, that doesn't happen.
It's all lies.
It's all lies. And we finished it in a week. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Maybe if you added all the hours up, it was a whole week, right? 24 times 7.
Like, it's just exactly. So it is very frustrating. So I will watch the beginning and then the end because I don't even all the nonsense that happens in between. I'm like, I really don't care about.
You just want to see what you want the before and after.
People are crazy talented.
Yeah,
crazy talented out there. So that's the only reason why I watch those shows.
But business is good.
Yeah. I just did a big renovation down in Falmouth. Top to bottom, new floors, new walls, new kitchen, new bathrooms. And he basically was like, here's a check. I'll see you in a couple of months.
That's nice.
And it was the best.
Yeah,
it was the best. And he's like 70. I don't even know how old he is. He's just and he's very like, I'm like, do you like me? I can't figure out if you like me
tough
or not.
read.
He's a tough read. And
poker face.
Yeah. And so he was just like, he sends me texts. My brother's sister's neighbor just walked through the house. Why do people want to walk through other people's houses? Because he's like, what is going on? They got word that the whole house got renovated, and so they want to see it.
They want to see it.
They want to see it, and he's just like, what?
Yeah.
I would never go look at someone else's house. That's what he's thinking.
Well, he's like me.
Yeah.
I don't care what you have.
I remember my mom used to do it when I was little. There'd be a new house being built, and she would walk up to the windows, walk around, look in. I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing?
Yeah, it's creeping.
And I realize how old I'm getting because now I want to do that. Or like open houses. I'm not buying this house. Why am I walking here? I don't know. Cookies?
Why not? Some water?
I don't know. Cookies?
Let's see what they did.
It's a good reason
Let's
to
see
know.
what they did in the bathroom.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad that business is taking off.
Yeah. It's slow and steady. It's just me, so I can only do so much.
Yeah. Well, you're the product.
Yeah.
That's how it was when
I have a hard time letting. I think I would have a hard time letting someone.
You
else.
need to. That's the nudge that you need to give out. You need to give out your nudge to some, up and coming interior design girl woman who had no direction in life and was floundering, and then her father rescued her, and then found her career later on. All right, incredible story here with Daryce Morris. I'm so happy you came on.
I am. You are so happy.
I am. You did a great job.
Yes, sloppy seconds, but it's
sloppies that came out of the bullpen.
Yep.
But
I was also like running around last night with like, I got the golden ticket.
So I hope all the listeners out there, someday this could be you. Thank you, Daryce. I really appreciate you coming on. And as always,
Thanks for having me.
Again, there it is, interrupting every single week.
By the way, you kind of pause. You say thank you for coming, and you don't
Yes,
expect your
okay,
guests
so
to
hold,
say
so hold on a
thank you
second.
for having
let's
me.
talk about this for a second. You know how it goes at the end, right? What's it called? My dismount? What's it called?
Your closing.
Yeah, my closing. You know how it sounds. And you still interrupted me. Even though you knew you're not supposed to speak there. But you still did it.
Oh, you're
So-
such an ass.
Everybody needs a nudge. See you next week. Good job, Daryce.